This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it is Thursday, August 14th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, New Cleveland Radio normally is on Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, except we've been having some computer problems and injuries, so we had to stall. But we're back, and it's time for Paul Seabrun.
Hey, all right. Thanks for that great and explanatory intro, Karen. Yes, it has been quite a journey from the last show that we recorded to this one. But we are back, and that's the main thing. We are back. We are, but John is occasionally fading in and out over here. There he is.
Hi, everybody.
He has to move closer to his globe.
There you go. Yeah, that's
closer
right.
To the world.
To the world.
That's right. The world, as in what in the world? Everybody's favorite weird news podcast. I think I need to dial it up a notch here. I've been on vacation too long here. Although we've been ready to go. That's the thing. It's been funny. We've the gremlins and the imps that I've been talking about, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, those are real. Those are actually real mythical creatures that have been haunting us. They've been haunting the internet. They've been haunting PCs. They've been tripping Karen in her parking lot.
Oh yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, so,
unfortunately, yes.
This is scary stuff here, but we have conquered them, and we have made it to at least being recorded on Thursday, August 14th, as Karen mentioned. I am Paul Seabrun, your host. What in the world? Everybody's favorite weird news podcast, real news, sometimes strange, always funny. That's our motto. If you've come here via Mysterious Universe, which is where I am the editor and head writer, thank you so much for doing that. If you come via Facebook, where I post things about this weird and wonderful world every day, as a matter of fact. Thank you for doing that as well. If you've come through newclevelandradio.net, or if you just stumbled upon us while perusing the internet web podcast world for something funny or unusual, you are in the right place. That is our goal. We want to make you laugh for an hour, talking about things that you don't necessarily hear about in the mainstream media. But I guarantee we won't talk about anything depressing. No world news, no business news, no religion, no sports other than funny sports.
Good to hear, Paul.
So thank you for joining us. And by us, the first voice you had in your ear was none other than Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. Your place to go for all kinds of great podcasts. The newclevelandradio.net, also the home of Yes I Can Coaching with Karen. Karen is a fine coach, and I say that because she's our sponsor, but also because I know she's a fine coach.
Well, it kind of makes sense, Paul.
There you go, John. That other voice you hear in your other ear is not one of those voices in your head. That's John DiNallo, our color commentator, our sports guy, and what else does he? And co-host and excellent player, a Bluff the co-host, all those things. How you doing, John?
Hey, Paul, I'm doing well. It's Thursday. It's warm outside in Cleveland, but we're cool inside here, and we're going to deliver a great show today.
I sure hope so. That's right. We have our gremlin detectors on. So if you hear some sirens going off in the background, that means that a gremlin has breached the premises, and we will all run away. No, we won't do that. We will soldier on through. That's what we like to do here at newclevelandradio.net. What in the world? I'm newclevelandradio.net. Okay, I've got all the business stuff out of the way. Let's talk about what we will be talking about today. And some great stories. You know, I had stories lined up for the past couple of weeks that we missed. So I moved some of them along because I really like them. They're still pretty much current news, but we got a bunch of brand new current weird news to talk about as well. So we've got the best and worst ice cream flavors for a hot day. And these, I won't tell you where they're from. These are flavors from around the world, as a lot of our stories are. And it's a good topic for August. Um, Shocking snacks from the Netherlands. This is for you, John. I know how you love those snacks.
I do
Uh,
love snacks. Yes, that is very
I,
true.
let's see if you like these.
Okay, I will look forward to it.
Cowboy boots for chilly days. The word for the day is chilly. You'll find out why that is. Um, I used to have cowboy boots when I lived in Texas. It's mandatory they meet you at the border and they make you buy a as you come in. I don't think I have them anymore. Okay, a great side hustle for nudists. And believe it or not, I believe that some of our listeners are nudists. I have a good friend down in Florida who owns let's see, how can well, she doesn't care. It's a swingers club. It's a, it's multiple little houses where swingers go to hang out and nudists go to hang out. I've never been there. Okay. I've only seen the photos, but, Tracy is a funny comedian, which is how I met her a long time ago. And now she and her husband run this and are probably doing much better than she did when she was in comedy. The latest Loch Ness monster sighting and a strange bear sighting from Japan. So we got some very weird, unusual animals this week. World records. We love those world records. We've got the world record finger and a world record set with golf tees for you golfers out there. This is a perfect sport to kill some time between holes. So see if you can beat this world record. Plus, we got some more odd news. We've got more world record. We've got trivia. John's got a strange sport for us, as always. And then we play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host. So you want to stick around for that. That's at the end of the show. Let's get right to it with some ice cream stories. It's August in the Northern Hemisphere. I mentioned that because my compadres at Mysterious Universe are in, well, they used to be in Sydney. They're now on the Gold Coast in Australia. So it's winter down there. And I know we picked up a lot of listeners from the Southern Hemisphere. So this is you can eat ice cream any time of the year, as far as I'm concerned. So this is for everybody. So we got these weird ice cream stories. The first one comes from Zaragoza, Spain. Spin that globe, John. Spain.
Well, we're going to go right to Spain. Let's not, okay, Europe, and here's Spain on the Iberian Peninsula next to Portugal.
There you go. I
Wow.
believe that Zaragoza is on the east coast, on the Mediterranean coast of.
Okay, so the Mediterranean coast would be right where my finger is, which people probably can't see.
There you
That's
go.
where it is.
Yeah, for those listening, he has a large finger pressed up against the east coast of Spain. Okay, so this comes from the Ambar Beer Company. That gives you a hint of what kind of ice cream this is. They marked their 125th anniversary by unveiling, get ready, a beer ice cream that the tasters, we need to put some pictures up here, that the tasters say is creamy, it's balanced, and it tastes like a cold pint without the weird aftertaste. John, you're the beer connoisseur here while I put up the photo. What kind of beer has a weird aftertaste? Is that old beer or what exactly?
Yeah, well, it's called skunk beer, is what it's called. It's called skunk beer. Okay, and you skunk beer can occur in a lot of different ways. Sometimes skunk beer occurs where beer is chilled and then it's warmed and then it's chilled again. Oh, that's typically not really something that I like to drink anyway. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
that's kind of what I refer to it as. But
Skunk beer. Okay. Well, they said that this beer, this ice cream flavored, beer flavored ice cream, does not have the weird aftertaste. Speaking of weird aftertaste, here's a picture of my book. What would you say to a naked space alien for you nudists?
all right.
Available at Amazon and other fine internet locations there. So let's take a look. Here's the beer ice cream, and there's the Ambar beer logos there, but it looks kind of tasty. It is beer colored for those of you who are not necessarily looking at us on YouTube. And I don't understand why you wouldn't be looking at us on YouTube, because we do have photos that go along with the many of our stories. So yellowish amber. Amber would be the correct color, I guess, John, right?
Yeah, that's an apt description, Paul.
It
Very apt
appears
description.
there's a head in there too, which might be whipped cream. I'm not sure. A head on the beer. But
That's kind of
anyway,
what it
let's
looks
find
like.
out
It kind
about
of
it.
looks like whipped cream with some kind of like big sprinkles on top. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, John, I'm surprised you've never tried beer ice cream, because in Cleveland, um, I heard this story. This is a historical story. The day after POC Brewing Company opened in Cleveland, Clevelanders were pouring beer on their seal test vanilla ice cream and making beer floats. So, you know,
Wow, that's wow. I've heard that rumor also, because it's not, I can't verify, because believe it or not, it was even before my time. So that tells you
POC,
how
that's
long ago
I
it
don't
was.
recall. I'm sure. No, I guess POC was brewed during our lifetime. But the other thing, John, in Cleveland, you can also drink. You can also have ice cream, beer ice cream for free at the Browns games, typically in December. If you buy, if you
Yes,
buy some beer
I've
and
attended
hold
a
it
few of
while
those
it during the
games.
snowstorm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've attended a few of those games, Paul, and I can attest to that. Sometimes snowflakes do get into your beer as you're at the game. So,
there you. Yeah,
yeah, okay.
it's they get a spoon next time, and you're all set. The And I was thinking about Weird Aftertaste. Boy, that sticks in my head. If I'm not mistaken, John, we saw Weird Aftertaste open for Strawberry Alarm Clock, which also,
Aha.
I think both.
I have to defer to you on this one, Paul, because it's not ringing a bell, so to speak.
Once Strawberry Alarm Clock played Incense and Peppermint, I think everybody had a weird aftertaste in their mouths. So, okay. Now, they warned everybody who buys the ice cream from Ambar, the beer ice cream, that you can't get drunk on this beer ice cream. It's only beer flavored. But of course, if you eat it fast enough, you can still get a headache. So, be prepared with your favorite hangover remedy. Um, I don't know if this is a good idea, because if you see somebody licking their beer, especially
Well, let me offer an observation if I can, folks.
Oh,
I
please
mean,
do.
well, wait. I mean, beer has been around for how long? Ice cream's been around for how long? I mean, this cannot be the pioneer or the first time that they've tried to marry beer with ice cream. I don't think, but maybe
Oh,
it is.
good point, John. Good point. I don't recall in the how many years, Karen, we've been doing the show? 7 years?
Yep.
8 years, 8 years, I
Yeah,
think.
Oh,
eight
yeah.
years. I don't recall ever talking about beer ice cream, but
Nope.
um, and we are the leading provider of stories like this to the world. But John, there are creative people out there who are beer drinkers and ice cream eaters. I'm sure that somebody's tried this before, but
Yeah, I
not.
mean, yeah, I agree, Paul. I think just law of averages would indicate that,
Yeah,
but maybe we can research that.
there. Yeah, let's do that. That's right. But if you see somebody licking their beer glass, or even worse, licking the beer off the bar that they spilled, like they have a different problem than a desire for beer ice
Yes, I
cream.
would
So
agree. I would agree.
now, if you think beer flavored ice cream is weird, wait till you hear this one. This one comes from the Frida company. Frida makes products for babies and also for parents of babies. So they're a big in the baby world. Uh, they have teamed up with the ice cream company, and you're going to know it's weird as soon as you hear the name, Oddfellows Ice Cream, to make, get ready, breast milk flavored ice
No,
cream.
no.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Karen, I'm
Frida.
with you on that. That's kind of hard. That's kind of hard to look at, quite
It
honestly.
just like it
No,
makes
it's not. They've got it. The scoop is shaped like a breast, so they at least made it aesthetically appropriate for the description, breast milk ice cream. Um, which it supposedly, now I haven't tasted it yet, but of course this is one we need to research more, John. It,
Okay.
it, it supposedly tastes like real breast milk while containing no breast milk. One store, by the way, that carries this, they almost had a riot in the freezer aisle when they stocked the breast milk right next to the Godiva bars. And all
Oh boy.
those weird guys that hang out by the Godiva bars where they just went nuts. Um, Now, to go along with the breast milk, they're also working on Dolly Parton's Double D cones. So
Oh,
you can fill up your cone with breast milk ice cream. Look for it underneath the my ice are up here popsicles, the grocery store.
Okay. Okay.
My favorite popsicles. My ice are up here. The company describes this creation as sweet, a little salty, smooth, with hints of honey and sprinkles of colostrum, and features a distinctive colostrum yellow tinge. Now, for those of you who don't know what colostrum is, I thought it was a guitar that you played while you were having a colostomy. Um, the colostrum, strum. Does that make sense?
Kind of makes sense.
Well, Karen, do you know what colostrum is?
yes, it's the pre-milk that comes when you're nursing.
There you go. Wow, there you go. Ask a mother, and she knows. It's the first milk a mother makes after delivery. Um, Now, I didn't know this, but it's a laxative. It's a very, very strong laxative to help the baby with their first poop.
Yep.
Now, is that true? Yeah.
That's what they say.
I've never seen a baby that had trouble pooping, so I'm not sure if is
You
it
haven't
really
been around a
necessary?
baby the first couple days.
Wow. Okay. Well, do I want that in my ice cream? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No. I've seen the line into the restroom at Dairy Queen, and I don't think it's from the colostrum, but don't need to add any more to it. So, how about a milk that helps new mothers sleep all night? Wouldn't that be a better, or better yet, it helps the baby sleep all night?
Yes, that's what we
That
do.
would be a good ice cream, right? Now, people of our generation will swear that their mothers used to give them something that helped them sleep at night, vodka. But
Does the trick every time.
That's right. We turned out okay. So, speaking of food, we're going to move on from the breast milk ice cream. Speaking of food, this is a popular story with a lot of my friends down in Texas. I mentioned the chili boots, the Chili's Tex-Mex restaurant chain, which is across the country. We have a Chili's, at least one Chili's that I know of, near where you live, Karen, over next to Kohl's. Yeah, the Chili's Tex-Mex restaurant is now selling cowboy boots made using the same burgundy vinyl found in the restaurant booth, plus a little inlay of the restaurant logo, which is obviously a chili pepper.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, John. These are for the person who has everything except boots that smell like their favorite restaurant's fart-filled steaks.
Oh boy. Wow.
Now, 7-Eleven, by the way, is offering boots to compete with this. They're made from the hot dogs that have been on rotisseries past their prime.
Oh.
Not to be outdone. For a small charge, Taco Bell will pour nacho cheese on your Crocs or whatever it is you wear when you go to Taco Bell. Now, I've lived in Texas, as I mentioned. No one wears vinyl boots in Texas except people who just moved there from Ohio. And I bought leather ones as soon as I found out you weren't supposed to wear vinyl boots. So nobody wears vinyl boots. In fact, I'm not sure that you can even find them other than these Chili's boots. And who wants to smell like the booth at Chili's? Hooters, maybe. I would smell.
guess
but
that
not
I
the
guess that could work. I guess that could work. Wow.
yeah, man, not the boot, not Chili's. Okay, Nancy Sinatra. You remember Nancy Sinatra and her famous song? I think she would come up with some new lyrics for this if the Chili's people asked, like, these boots are made for starting the fire to grill steaks, and that
That would be a change. That would be a
there you
big
go, and
change,
that's just
Paul.
what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna cook a steak for you. That's what you do with boots made of vinyl from Chili's.
Uh,
Not sorry, Chili's, you're not a sponsor. Um, if you were a sponsor, we'd be promoting it. Okay, John, this one's for you. This is your welcome back present. Uh,
okay.
little side hustle for you to consider.
All right.
This is from Argentina. Google was ordered to pay a man $13,000 in compensation for damages to his dignity when a Google Street View car photographed him naked on his property and posted it on Google Maps, thus causing his neighbors and his coworkers to ridicule him, thus ending up in damages to his dignity. Now, as I mentioned before, this sounds like a perfect side hustle for nudists, but even people who just want to make an extra $13,000 by streaking in their backyard. John, what do you say to that?
Well, hey, we all have to, we all are trying to make a buck, so to speak, right? So, yeah, I kind of get that. Make a buck if you get
There
it.
you
Okay.
go. Yeah, that's right. Just drop that towel while you're running to the hot tub once or twice, and next thing you know,
I'm not
here's the
sure our neighbors
car.
should go for
Here's a
that
picture
right
of
now,
the
to be
Google
honest with
Street
you.
View cars. If you want to look for them in your neighborhood. I've never seen one driving around. Um, I think they still have drivers. They're not autonomous yet, or at least not in Ohio. But
I think we've
the
all seen our share
hey,
of Google Maps here or there, right? I mean, how many times
oh
have you seen a
yeah,
Google
yeah.
Map, right?
I think
Sure.
the one thing the guy found out, now his life has changed. Now he's got $13,000 that he didn't have before, and a lot of women are seeing him on Google Maps, and he's doing better in the dating world than he did when he was on Tinder.
Well, he gets around.
John, yeah, that's right. And I think it would be popular too. In fact, I'm working on a screenplay about these accidental nude photos. It's called the Full Mappy. As soon as I get permission from
Oh, you're a
Google.
clever guy, Paul.
Need a horn for that one. Okay. The Now, funny. I put this up and I heard from my friend Gail, who I've known since grade school. She lives on a mountaintop in Tennessee, just like the Beverly Hillbillies. She's not a hillbilly, by the way, but she lives on a mountaintop in Tennessee, and she says she lives miles from her nearest neighbor, but she must do something that worries her that Google Maps might be driving around the neighborhood. So she said, "Thanks for the warning." Uh, you know, I've seen her house. She lives a long way from the road. And she said, well, what about those Google satellites? And I thought about that for a second and I said, Gail, your boobs aren't that big. So,
Oh.
Oh,
and that's why we're
Oh.
not friends anymore. No, I'm just kidding. She got the joke. She has a great sense of humor. Okay. So that one was for you, Gail. If you don't want to get rich suing Google, John, here's another way, another side hustle for you. Bear attacks. There have been so many bear attacks in Nikko, Japan, that the police have hired a bear impersonator to pretend to attack people until the cops can run in and scare it with firecrackers, and then they shoot it with a fake tranquilizer gun. Now, here's a picture of the bear impersonator.
ah,
Oh, wow.
This bear impersonator is so bad. Bears were coming out of the woods and asking the cops to shoot them with the tranquilizer gun. They don't want to be associated with this at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the full sequence here. You can see the bear menacing the people who live in Nikko, and then here comes the cop, and here they are holding this poor guy down with their taser gun. Look at they've got these riot gear. They've got riot gear on to deal
wow.
with really
Wow.
looking guy in the worst bear costume I've ever seen. Just, you know, bears. I'm sure the bears would come out if the bears found this guy in the woods. They'd poop on him, is what they do.
Yes, you will. You will.
That, that's what bears do in the woods, and I think they do it on top of this guy. Um, he was so bad. He was so bad. They were in a park, and the park rangers actually gave him a picnic basket and said, "Go home. We don't. You don't have to go looking for a picnic basket."
Well, that's a solution, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. This is what happens when you hire somebody's brother-in-law and tell him to go get a costume instead of a real bear impersonator. This guy had to be a relative from somebody on the police department who needed some extra money. Um, and when they shot him, I saw the video. He was so melodramatic. He's holding his chest. He's spinning around. He's like Fred Sanford on Sanford and Son. When he used to, for the old timers out there, when Fred would have what was his wife's name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. This is this is the big one, Elizabeth. So the bear guy, he's running around. He's like, this is the big one. I'm coming for you, boo boo. And then he falls over, and that's the end of it. It was wild, absolutely wild. Look it up on the internet. Goofy bear impersonator from Japan. Okay, so here we are in August, as we mentioned a couple times here, which is not only ice cream month, but it's also picnic month, as we just introduced with this nice segue from the beer store. The bear. Wow, all the stories are running together here.
Yep.
John, my snack man, this is for you.
Okay.
This is from the Rewind Snack Company. That's the name of it. Rewind Snack Company in the Netherlands. All right. They've come out with a new tortilla chip that they claim tastes like licking the top of a 9-volt battery.
Oh.
In fact,
I'll tell you
what
what.
they
I mean,
call
I
it.
remember when I was a kid, right? You used to challenge, your friends with, how long can you keep your tongue on the 9-volt battery,
Oh.
right? I can remember that. Sure.
Have you ever done that, John?
Absolutely.
No, you have, really. Were you doing it to check for power, or were you just doing it to impress your friends?
No, doing just to impress my friends, right? Everybody dares you to do something or other, right? And I don't even think it was to test if it was the battery was still good. It was just something that you try to do, like to challenge your friends and show them that you're okay, right? That's kind of what it was.
Okay, all right. So we'll give equal time to Karen. No, we won't give equal time to Karen on that one. If I know, maybe we won't. We're going back and forth here. If you don't live in the Netherlands, you can get the same effect by licking a 9-volt battery and then eating corn chips on your way to the ER to treat the burn on your tongue. But you're saying you didn't hurt your tongue at all, John, licking the battery.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, there was pain involved. I mean, it just depended on how long you wanted to endure the pain. Absolutely, sure. Come on, when you're a kid, anything can happen. That's all I
guess so. I guess you're right there, John. I'm hoping that this doesn't come to the United States, but it probably will. John, if I remember correctly, I think we saw the battery lickers open for Electric Light Orchestra. Do you remember that?
I remember seeing ELO, but I don't know if I can identify that band.
Battery Lickers. They only played 3 songs, and then we were shocked. They got off the stage right away.
We were definitely shocked. No pun intended. Yeah. Right.
Now, I was going to save this for Bluff the co-host because it was just so weird. But I decided that it was worth a whole segment on World. So here's how they describe it. We used a blend of citric acid and sodium bicarbonate to create the tongue-tingling effect and balance it out with mineral salt, which gives the chip a metallic tang. The result is surprisingly tasty, and it's definitely a flavor that sparks your curiosity.
Okay. We're going with that one. Good. Good.
So I guess, the one thing that I was reading up on 9-volt batteries, and one thing they do warn, and they said, you can't kill yourself licking a 9-volt battery, but you can kill yourself putting a 9-volt battery in your glove compartment of your car. And the reason why is that if it's fully charged, even if it's not fully charged, but it has a charge, and both of the terminals touch something metal in your glove box, it can create a spark and ignite whatever it is you keep in your glove box, whether it's gloves or maps or your pot, and burn your house. I mean, not your house, but burn your car. Set your car on fire. So don't keep 9-volt batteries in your glove box.
Thanks for the tip, Paul. That's good to know.
Yeah, put a piece of tape on them. They also said they said to be careful when you throw them out. In the garbage. If you have a metal garbage can, the same thing could happen in a metal garbage can and start a fire in your metal garbage can. So I don't know. I've never been that hungry or that crazy enough to lick a 9-volt battery. Although, I heard that also makes your hair stand on end, which means I won't be trying it to do that either.
Well,
It's a good reason.
Paul, we need to thank you because you're like Smokey the Bear. He tries to prevent forest fires, and you're trying to prevent battery fires.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Battery
Sure.
the Bear. Only you can prevent hair fires, or whatever it is, tongue depression. I don't. Maybe that. Yeah. Well, maybe that's where the term tongue depressor comes from. It makes your tongue depressed from shocking it. Okay. Speaking of depressing, let's move on. So we haven't had a Loch Ness monster story in a while, and I know I get desperate. That's my favorite monster. Well, good news. We've got a Loch Ness monster story from Loch Ness, obviously. So Scotland. So revenue is down at Inverness, Scotland, which is where Loch Ness is located. So they put out a call for people to come and look for the Loch Ness monster. This is like the bat signal, except it's a giant, Loch Ness monster head in the sky up against the clouds to let people know, come and look for the Loch Ness monster. So it was observed poking its head out of the water, which is unusual in and of itself, right in front of Urquhart Castle, which is the most recognizable landmark and where many of the sightings occur on Loch Ness. It was in mid-July, which is a top time and a top spot for sighting. So they said the monster knows where people with cameras are. That's why it goes over there. And that also coincidentally is where you can buy all the plastic souvenirs. A spokesperson for the Loch Ness Center, which is a museum and research place right next to a hotel, with the Loch Ness Hotel, where everybody likes to stay. So everybody's in on the action. They said that the clip. There was also a clip that went along with it, was thought-provoking. It was thought-provoking, which I said, right. I don't know what thought-provoking is. The only thought that I got looking at this picture is, can you make it even more blurry?
Yes,
but
I would agree.
Before I turn to our expert, John, the people at the center remarked, they said, it could have been a seal, which do appear in Loch Ness from time to time, or a tree caught in the castle's outlet pipe. Now, this is at the Loch Ness Center where they sell stuff to help you look for the Loch Ness monster. I'm sure that person no longer had a job the next day for telling people, oh, it could have been a seal. And I don't think so. I don't think so. So, John, does this photograph provoke any thoughts in your mind?
Well, I'm again, I have to just be candid. It's blurry, and it's a lot of the photos that we receive from Loch Ness, and I'll just focus on Loch Ness today. There have been some that have been a little bit more clear, but this falls into the category of being too hard to determine what it is.
Yeah, doesn't even look like a tree trunk. Doesn't look like a tree trunk. I don't think that looks like a seal to me. It doesn't look.
No, I mean, it's just I mean, we're always challenged. I mean, I have to offer this. We're always challenged with what we're seeing, right? It's how about giving us something that's a little bit more clear? I'll just leave it at that.
Excuse me. Well, it's far away. That one of the problems with
Sure.
these photos is that we're looking at them like it's a drone that's flying directly above it, which is really what they should do. But this is
Hmm.
from someone who is on the shore, a couple
Hmm.
hundred yards away, or
Hmm.
meters in Scotland, and
Right.
that so I give them a small benefit of the doubt, but very small. I agree with John. It's far too blurry. But here's another side hustle for us, John.
Oh,
Renting drones to fly over Loch Ness, where people could
well,
look
that would be new, I
right down
think.
to the water. Yeah, yeah.
That would be a new thing, right?
We'll
Wow.
have to look into that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a good idea.
See, that is thought provoking. That provoked.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
All right. So we got a couple of world records here. Um, First world record, what they should call, I thought about this, for all the world records we promote, maybe we should be called what in the world record, what in the world record, but it doesn't roll off your tongue. So the
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
yeah, it's well, John, for all the 9-volt batteries you licked, I'm surprised anything rolls off your tongue. But
Well, the one thing I can say in my defense, it was a long time ago.
long time ago. All right, well, this world record, this first world record comes from China. Guy by the name of Lu Wangkang, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing Lu's name. He set a new Guinness World Record with his finger. The world record for the heaviest deadlift with one finger. When he lifted, get ready for this, 319.05 pounds off the ground and held it for 10 seconds using just his middle finger.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. His middle finger, they said his middle finger is so strong, he once broke the windshield flipping off another driver. Oh,
Wow.
so, I'm imagining him training at the gym. But this would be a perfect kind of training exercise because at the gym you have to wipe down the equipment afterwards. All he has to wipe off is this little ring stuck to all those weights. So
Yeah, right.
nobody's going to complain about his
Sure.
sweat being all over
Sure.
the
Sure.
place. Yeah. The uh, Although one night they said his neighbor thought that there was a thunderstorm, and she looked out the window and it was just Lou outside cracking his knuckle. Um, so no, it's it doesn't. Taking a look at the picture, it doesn't look like his finger is overgrown or over muscled or long,
Hmm. No, it doesn't.
and
Wow.
his both arms are equally muscular. His shoulder doesn't appear. It's not like he has one giant arm and one little shriveled up arm that he never
Right.
uses
Right.
to lift anything. Yeah, like both of our arms are. Um, the, Now, I don't want to get too kinky here, but I will anyways. Isn't that a too valuable of a finger to be sacrificing for a world record?
You got a point there.
If I get worried when I trim my fingernails. I make sure I don't get too close to the cuticles on that particular finger there. Um, don't want to make that one too short. I never use it to test if I'm cooking. I never use that finger to test how hot something is, because it's too valuable. Um, I go with the ring finger. I think the ring finger is the least valuable of the finger family. Uh, the thumb is not a finger, right? The
Right.
index finger, how would you got a point?
Hmm.
Right,
Right. Right.
right there. You can't point. The middle finger, I'll leave it to your imagination. All the various things you can do with the middle finger, which has the most uh, uh, uses. And then the pinky, how would you pick your nose if you didn't have a pinky? So
You couldn't
that
pinky
leaves the ring
swear.
finger. John, have you ever tried to pick your nose with the ring finger?
I
No,
have not. I can
no.
confidently say I have not.
But you have to use that
So,
pinky to pinky swear. To pinky
oh yeah,
swear? Yeah.
okay. Well, other than being a home for a ring, I couldn't come up with any other uses for the ring finger. So to me, that's the finger he should have used. Maybe he tried it and he couldn't lift as much with his ring finger. Uh, what a waste of what a waste of brain cells that was thinking about all that. Okay, one more world record for you here. Anna Banash is her name. She lives in California. She set a Guinness World Record for, get ready for this, the most golf tees in the hair. Most golf tees in the hair when she put 711 wooden tees in her locks and
Oh
held.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
she had to hold them there for a certain period of time. I don't know how long. Probably a minute. That's usually what Guinness wants you to do. Um, she said she got the idea when she got confused. She was reading the label on this package and it said top golf tees. So she would put that in her top. What?
A little double entendre there, I think.
There you go, John. I know you're wondering what her handicap is.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I do. As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, only her hairdresser knows for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that's a lead in to a trivia question for you, John. What commercial was that slogan from? Only her hairdresser knows for sure.
Oh, Alberto VO5?
No.
Uh, no, Karen knows. What is it?
Lady Clairol.
Clairol. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Clairol.
okay. Okay.
Clairol one step home hair color. Only her hairdresser knows for sure. This
Wow.
I looked it up because I wanted to use that line and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. And I learned far more about Clairol and hair coloring than I ever wanted to know. So, of course, I'm going to share it with you.
All right. That makes sense.
So Clairol was the revolutionary in one-step home hair coloring. Um, they hired an advertising firm called Foot Cone and Belding, which I thought, well, maybe that was three body parts, but I don't think that's what it is. Um, but they assigned the Clairol account to a junior copywriter by the name of Shirley Polikoff. So that's how little they thought of the product, and they gave it to the woman. Back in the old days, you give the crappy jobs to the woman. Well,
Hmm.
and she was the only female copywriter at the firm at the time, which this is like Mad Men, Mad Men come to life.
Hmm.
So
Right, right.
here's an ad for it over here.
Oh,
So
wow.
um, this is for a different slogan, but so her future mother-in-law, so she was a young lady, her future mother-in-law inspired the does she or doesn't she? Because she, after meeting her future daughter-in-law for the first time, her future mother-in-law went to her fiance and asked her what the true color of his girlfriend's hair was. She thought,
Oh,
how about that? Yeah, and they still got married, Karen, even
yeah.
after that. Yeah, yeah. So she said, does she color her hair or doesn't she? So I guess he can, and he told her, or maybe she overheard them. I don't know. And she did color her hair, so she was right. She did color her hair,
Oh,
but this was
okay.
not something that women talked about during the Depression, which is when she asked the question. So this is back in the 30s that
Wow.
it dates back to. Yeah. So in 1956, when she was assigned the Clairol campaign, this Polikoff, hair dye was not considered to be something to be used by genteel women. That's what they referred to them. So the higher class women did not color their hair. Uh, so to try and counter that discrimination against women who colored their hair, um, Clairol wanted to come out with this. So the ads, this is a picture of one of the ads. They used young women with their children, young, good-looking women with their children, to make it look like it's a family thing to do. You know, your
Hmm.
family will love you because you color your hair and because
Hmm.
you
Sure.
bathe, you know. And they use fashion photographers. Richard Avedon, really a famous fashion photographer, and Irving Penn, another one. And they use girl next door models. That's what they call them. And the kid, if you notice, I went through some of the pictures. The child has the same hair color as his mom.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
right. Hmm.
yeah. How about that? So, and then of course it says, does she or doesn't she? Hair color, oh, so natural. Only her hairdresser knows for sure. Within six, yeah, within 6 years, John, from 1956 to 1962, 70% of all women, adult women, were coloring their hair in the United States. 70%. So that includes our moms, probably our grandmothers, 70%, your aunts, you know, your
Oh,
neighbors.
sure, sure.
They were all coloring their hair. Yeah. Um, in 1967, and so their sales increased fourfold, 4 times as many sales. In 1967, Polycop was inducted into the Advertising Hall of Fame for that slogan right there. Does she or
Huh.
does she?
Didn't know that. Wow.
What was their next slogan? Karen, do you know what their next slogan was after they wore this one out?
I don't remember. No,
If I've only one life to live, let me
I want
live
to
it
live
as
it as a
mine.
blonde.
We remember that there's this, people of a certain age. That was when they
Oh,
were
that's very
blonde hair
good.
coloring.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, the Marilyn Monroe era and the Jane
Hmm.
Mansfield. And
Sure, of course. Of
so
course.
then after that wore out in the 1990s and the early 2000s, and I remember this, they came out with Herbal Essence shampoo. You remember Herbal Essence
Yep.
I
shampoo?
do. I do
Yeah.
remember. It was green. It was a green liquid, I thought.
Be, to make you believe that it was totally organic. So they made it green. And they said that it was a totally organic experience. And to promote the organic experience, get ready for this. And I remember this. They had women washing their hair and making orgasm sounds. So
Well, I don't remember that, but that's interesting.
no, go, come on, John.
I'm just saying. Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not, that was the strategy to make women make that shampoo more appealing. I'm not even going to ask, Karen. I won't embarrass you if you used herbal essence or if you remember those commercials.
You know, I did use it. I just
Yeah,
don't remember it exciting me so much.
Oh.
believe it or not, they also had a men's herbal essence, but the guy was just the instead of an orgasmic sound, he just gave a sigh of relief that he finally could wash his hair and it was
Oh boy.
clean again. And on that note, I think we're going to end it with our end this episode of my part of what in the world, the weird news for the day, and move on to sports with our sports guy John DiNallo. I think that's what we're going to do right here. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's your logo right there, John. So
Oh,
regular
great.
regular listeners of the show know every week I turn to John for some weird sport. I've known John since we went to college together. We're fraternity brothers. He knows more about sports than anybody I know, so I trust that he will come up with a weird sport. And regular listeners know every week he manages to find one that often tops the weirdness of the previous week. So we've been gone for a couple of weeks here, John, so I hope you got a good one.
Oh, Paul, I think I do. And Karen and audience, here we go. Our sport this week is pea shooting,
Oh,
PEA shooting, in honor of the annual World Pea Shooting Championships,
there's a
which
world championship of pea shooting.
there's a world
Whoa.
championship. And wait, and for this year, there was a in Cambridgeshire, England.
Oh,
The World Peace Shooting Championship was conceived in 1971 as a fundraising idea for the building of a modern village hall. So, a good goal. The
hmm.
competition tends to be dominated by local entrants, although there is a small number of competitors that travel from around the world. The championships have attracted competitors from as far away as the US, Canada, Scandinavia, France, Spain, Holland, and even New Zealand. They also get personnel from two nearby US air bases that are there in England.
Oh,
Now, the rules of this game are very, very straightforward, just like a shot pea. Number one, peas are shot from a pea shooter at a 12-inch target, which is smeared with a glazing putty. The target distance is 12 feet for adults, 10 feet for children over the age of 8, and 8 feet for children under 7. There are 3 rings on the target. The center ring is worth 5 points, the middle ring is worth 3 points, and the outer ring is worth 1 point. Only peas provided by the championship committee can be used. There are 5 per contestant in early rounds and 10 in the semifinal and final rounds.
keep
The
people from
pea
loading
shooter,
up their peas with lead or something, right?
well, and this is important now.
Yeah.
The pea shooter itself must not exceed 12 inches in length, and it cannot be shared with other competitors for obvious
Ooh.
reasons. Now, there are also no technology restrictions provided that the peas are propelled only by blowing air by mouth. Now, no laser pea shooters are allowed to be used in the children's event.
Yeah,
That's right. The competitors can use laser scopes on their pea shooters, and some of them are extremely sophisticated and machine made.
I'm telling you, yeah, these are really, really unbelievably sophisticated pea shooters that we're looking
They're
at here.
they're going the extra step, so to speak. Now,
Yeah.
so because of this, this brings us to this year's 8 to 11-year-old winner in that category, and that individual was Stellan Smith. Get ready for this. He handmade his pea shooter with a gun-like wooden base and a tube that was made from copper plumbing pipe. He also brought a special sieve to pick out the right sized peas. So he did his research, and with that simple shooter, Stellan shot his way to victory, hitting 3 bullseyes on the target and then clinching the final by a single point.
Wow. Wow. That's it. Yeah. Look at it. It just looks like a piece of wood in
Right,
a
right, right.
little copper tube, attached by yarn, and
Mhm. And
he
there he
looks like he's got that eye. He
right, and there he has his implement to do the thing. Now,
How about that?
no one did more to make peas famous than country singer Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Goober
Some of the
baby.
listeners will remember Tennessee Ernie Ford. Now, if he heard about the accomplishment of Stellan Smith, the old pea picker would probably say, "Bless his pea shooting heart."
Oh.
Good old Tennessee Ernie Ford.
And
Wow.
I think for people of a certain age, I think a lot of people appreciate Tennessee Ernie Ford. I know I did, and my parents
Yeah.
did.
Good singer.
But I
Yeah.
think, yeah, for some younger folks, they may not know about that. Might be something to take a look at on Google.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would look up the pea shooting championship too, because this looks like a something for fun for all ages.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah, sure, it's a fun sport. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
kidding about it.
yeah,
Yeah, sure, sure.
those guys had some pretty sophisticated pea shooters, which I'm obviously using peas. It probably wouldn't put anybody's eye out like a BB.
No, I don't think they're going to generate that much speed, Paul.
Right, yeah, but and then certainly the little kids making the homemade pea shooters. I think that's a really cool thing. Wow, good, and it's an annual World Pea
It's been again taking place since 1971, which
Yeah,
is a significant year for Paul and I, and we'll leave that up to everyone in the audience to figure out why that was.
that's true. That's true. We shot a few peas and other things back in those days. The okay. As a matter of fact, John, as a matter of fact, back in those days, that was when we first met in college. I think that there was a pea shooting competition held at our college between the fraternities. I wonder if you remember that.
Now that you said that, yeah, I was thinking it was among the fraternities because we had I mean, a good amount of fraternities that were our rivals for a lot of reasons. But
That's right.
yeah,
And we had a lot of blowhards in our fraternity. So
Oh,
that was
we thought,
and that is true also.
that's true. We thought we'd do really well, or at least the older guys who put me and John in charge. Now, John and I were not that good at pea shooting, I will admit. So we improvised. I don't know if you remember this. We came up with a pea catapult. Um,
Well, yeah,
there's
no, yes, we had no, well, we had to come up with a better invention,
Yeah,
right? We had to come
went
up
to
with
the
something
nurse,
to
got some
improve.
tongue
So there it
depressors and
was.
yeah,
Sure.
the little plastic spoon from the cafeteria, and we made a pea catapult.
So
Um,
yeah.
we were we were we were worried that we might be disqualified, but it turns out that the other team that we were playing against was disqualified. And the reason why is because they did not use the official peas. They used bird's eye peas and pearl onion, uh,
oh,
which were not allowed and lightly
Well, there's a
seasoned sauce
difference. There's a
as
big
well. Yeah,
difference. Sure.
you get one of those in your eye and it's going to burn. So
Oh yeah,
they
sure,
were
sure.
disqualified. Yeah, and we won. But we were, as always, we got together afterwards as friends. And I don't know if you remember this. We sang. There's a great song that we sang to go along with this, and that song was "All We Are Saying Is Give Peas a Chance."
oh,
Oh yeah, as soon as you started just giving an intro on that, Paul, I knew exactly what it was. Yes, that is true.
Give peas a chance. All right. Well, good. There we go. There's some beer and peas right there. Easy peasy, as another friend of mine might say. Okay. All right. Well, let's get going here. Thank you again, John, for that great sport.
You're welcome,
Pea
Paul. Carrying
shooting,
an
the
audience.
World Pea
Thank you.
Shooting Championship.
Sure.
You only hear about it at What in the World. So the other thing you only hear on What in the World is Bluff the co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. Rules are simple. I have 3 stories similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference. Those stories were all real, or as real as you can get on the internet. These stories may be real, maybe a bluff. It's up to John, Karen, and those of you listening at home to decide, real or bluff. Wagering is allowed, so place your bets. John and Karen, put your hands on the buzzer, and let's get ready for story number 1. If it's July in Finland, then it's time for National Sleepyhead Day, a yearly celebration honoring a Rip Van Winkle-ish local legend about some people who in 250 AD fell asleep in a cave and woke up 200 years later. Sleepyhead Day is celebrated by throwing water on the last person in the house to wake up that morning, or if you live near a lake, throwing them into the water. This practice is so popular, many cities secretly pick a local celebrity, usually a politician, and even if they didn't sleep in, throw them into the nearest lake. The annual holiday is seen as a good reminder to kids that late sleepers are not healthy, wealthy, or wise, and they never get the worm. Okay, so National Sleepyhead Day, an annual holiday held in Finland, celebrated by throwing water at the last person to wake up. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
well, I would never get the water thrown at me because I'm always the first person who wakes up. Um, and if I threw water at my husband, I think he'd kill me. So I'm going to say, I hope this is fake, not real. No.
Okay, Karen hopes it's a bluff. John, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with Karen on this one. I mean, I think that, yeah, if you're the last person to wake up, I mean, what a rude awakening. I mean, really, I mean,
Whoa,
water
whoa,
being thrown
whoa.
at you. No, no. I mean, anything is possible. I believe that, but I don't think this is a true story. I think it's a bluff.
Okay, so both Karen and John say National Sleepyhead Day is a bluff. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, bad news. That's a real holiday held every July in Finland. National Sleepyhead Day. They found,
Wow.
yeah, how about
Knock
that?
me over with a feather on that one,
Yep.
Or throw you in a lake, so to speak.
so to
Okay,
speak.
so
Right.
the score is 0-0. Let's get right to story number 2. People in one neighborhood in Wellington, New Zealand, have been puzzled by an item of clothing suddenly disappearing from their clotheslines and bedrooms, especially expensive things like silk shorts and cashmere sweaters. Police suspected a young prankster, and that's what it was, but not a human one. The thief turned out to be a cat named Leo, who was caught when its owner found a pile of underwear, baby clothes, socks, and other things not belonging to him. The owner, apologized to the neighbors, did his best to return the clothes to their rightful owners, and promised to keep Leo the cat, who the neighbors have now nicknamed Leo da Pinchy, locked up. Okay, so a cat who stole one item of clothing, usually underwear, from clotheslines or even from bedrooms in New Zealand. Cat named Leo. Real or bluff? John, we'll start with you.
Well, it sounds very plausible to me. I mean, cats are pretty intelligent in general. And I think if this Leo is exploring and trying to find out about things, I could see him doing that. So I'm going to say it's a real story.
Leo da Vinci. Have you ever owned a cat, John?
No, but my nieces have cats.
Oh, they do. Oh,
Yes.
that's
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah. Very familiar
you're
with
cat.
cat life.
Yeah, you are cat adjacent then.
I am
Uh,
cat adjacent. That's a good terminology for it. But yes, I am definitely cat adjacent. That's correct.
all right. So John says Leonardo da Vinci is real. Karen, how about you?
I know cats can be curious and mischievous, but I don't think they're jumping up onto clotheslines and grabbing underwear. Just doesn't make
Oh,
sense. So
not even
I'm
the,
gonna say
not
it's a
even the
bluff.
male cats, the kinky male cats.
Well, yeah, maybe, but I'm still gonna say it's a bluff.
Oh, Karen, just a bluff. Not even a cat burglar. All right, Karen
Uh,
says Leonardo da Vinci is a bluff. John says that's a real story. The judges say congratulations go to John. That is a real story. And a special shout out goes to my lovely wife who contributed that story to Bluff the co-host. She loves to.
oh, great.
Well, thank you,
Yeah, how
Donna.
about that? Yeah. Okay, so that means the score is 1-0. John vaults into the lead, but everybody knows points are doubled in round number 3. So Karen could quickly catch up and exceed John's point total. Let's see what happens. Story number 3. There are small plate restaurants, and then there is the really small plate diner in San Francisco, which specializes in foods that can only be eaten with a toothpick. So there's no need for plates any bigger than a saucer. Popular menu items at the really small plate diner are lima beans, cocktail wieners, olives, Cheerios, peas, rice, and for dessert, milk duds and cookie pieces. The owner says most people come first for the novelty of eating with toothpicks, but many return as a way to help lose weight. And even though the food is tiny, many diners appreciate not having to ask the waiter for a toothpick after eating a small plate of corn piece by piece. It sounds like a California thing, but the really small plate diner is entertaining offers from New York, Seattle, and Disneyland, which wants to put a stand next to the Small World ride.
Oh,
So the really small plate restaurant called Really Small Plate Diner in San Francisco, real or bluff? Karen, we'll go back to you for this one.
it sounds like a bluff because I don't think too many people want to eat lima beans or peas and Cheerios with the toothpick. Um, I'm just going to say this was really fun writing.
Okay. So Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you? John has a small plate restaurant near where you live, as a matter of fact.
That is true, Paul. That is true. And I have a confession to make. I am a lima bean fan. I am a big lima bean fan. In fact, when I was a kid growing up, in our house, I was the one that always wanted to have lima beans. I just
Oh,
really,
really?
really enjoyed them. And I can see I can see this happening in San Francisco. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to give a reason why, but I can see it happening, and I think it's true.
Okay, John says that's a real story because he used to way back when he wasn't licking 9-volt batteries, he was eating lima beans.
Could have been, wait a
So,
minute, could have been the same time when I'm growing up now, okay? I'm not an adult when that was going on, okay? I want to make that clear to everybody.
all right. So Karen says the really small plate diners of bluff. John says it's a real story. The judges say, "Whoa, come from behind time." Karen, that is a bluff. Yes,
Yes.
there's no
Oh,
such thing
Karen,
as
Karen
a,
wins.
a
Nice.
restaurant where you eat with toothpicks. I mean, with John, did you ever eat lima beans with toothpicks?
No, definitely
No.
not. It just started getting me thinking about how much I like lima beans.
Oh,
Oh,
that's it. That's it. Oh, I have to remember that now. I pick do the bluff the co-host with foods that John likes, and we'll always bluff him.
All right, folks, that's a good one.
All right. Okay. Well, that means Karen won. Yeah, John is going to be spending time with the flashcards this week.
Flashcards this week
yep.
for me and Annette, that's for sure.
All right.
Well,
Well,
next week, really, it's already Thursday. It's already Thursday, so I'll
Thursday.
be
Oh
getting
yeah,
ready for
yeah.
next
You're going to
Tuesday's
really have to
show.
cram.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
yeah, yeah. Boy, during halftime in the Browns exhibition game, you'll be cramming over there.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, we'll be
Or,
focused. We'll be
or
focused.
possibly during the whole game.
Oh
Okay, I
boy.
want to thank Karen Hale, our producer, co-host, and media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, for all she does for our show and for all the great podcasts at newclevelandradio.net. Please go there, find out all about them, check them out. Also, check out Yes I Can Coaching with Karen. All the information that you need can be found there. You can find our podcast, of course, on podcast on all of your favorite podcast platforms as well. Then I want to thank my old buddy John DiNallo, our color commentator, sports guy. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for putting up with me every week and for all the prep you do for co-hosts.
No, thank you, Paul. It's again, it's great to we've missed each other for several days. So I mean, it was very good that we did the show today.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
right. Yeah, that's right. So thanks again, and as always, the most important people in the world of what in the world is our listeners. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. You're the reason why. We hope you have as much fun listening as we do putting it on. And if you do, please get in contact with us at newclevelandradio.net. Send Karen a message. Look me up on Facebook. You can send me a message there. Or you can go to my website, paulseabrun.com. You can send me a message from there. Facebook is the best. That's the best way to get a hold of me as well. And you'll get to see some of the stories I would test marketing for next week. So on that note, yeah, it's still, I think I'm looking out the window. It's still a beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio. So I hope it's beautiful wherever you are. Have some lima beans, lick a 9-volt bat, whatever turns you on.
Well, all I can say is I hope everyone has a great weekend and hope that the
Yeah,
weather in the Cleveland area or wherever you're at are good for a lot of outdoor activities.
that's
Absolutely.
right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Hey, John, spin that globe on our way out the door.
Let's do that because what in the world?
Here
Bye,
we go.
everybody.
Bye bye.